Good morning. This is Yago Soto from Cobis. Thanks for joining this webinar. For this session, we will have another one later. We are expecting around 103 participants, so it's pretty good. Things to discuss before starting. First, you can use, while we're using GoToWebinar, you have a tool. If you want to make any question or so, you should have in the right part of your screen the possibility to send a question. At the end of the webinar, I will 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes to answer all the questions that you may have. But in any case, I will read this in real time, so probably you can get an answer before the end of the webinar. Okay. Second, this webinar has been thought to last around 35 to 40 minutes. So we will have enough time at the end just to answer these questions. And the typical question, I think that we have this one now in the list of questions that you have already submitted. This webinar will be recorded. It's been recorded. And the slides will be available. So you will have this after the webinar. Okay, we can move to the to the next slide. We have three different models. Today we are going to discuss use cases of web communications, real-time video for banks and insurance companies. We have three different models. The first one is related with customer ID verification. The second one is how to, using these tools, we can leverage customer care. And we will finish explaining how we can improve employee collaboration and this type of things. But before explaining all these different use cases of these three models, we have just 2 or 3 slides introducing some basic concepts that are required to understand better, okay, the use cases that I'm going to explain today, okay. And the first one is just a short introduction to real-time video. Here we are going to talk about SIPO, that is our brand, that is based in a technology that is important. The technology is called WebRTC. And well, in the title of the webinar, you can see real-time video, but we are not going to focus on well, we're going to talk about video, but we will be discussing other multimedia capabilities, collaboration tools like file transfer, screen sharing, co-browsing, and other things. Basically, because WebRTC makes possible to add all these different channels, all these different multimedia capabilities to the use cases. And in some scenarios, it's more useful to have these collaboration tools instead of video. So this is important to notice. This technology supports more or less all the multimedia capabilities that you can imagine. Okay, and later you will have the opportunity to check this. The second point is I think this is really important. This technology is supporting all the potential devices. So let me explain this. WebRTC has been thought for browsers. Some browsers are supporting WebRTC. This is the case of Chrome, Firefox, Opera, Edge, Microsoft Edge, that is the newcomer. But in any case, the applications that we can create using this technology can be adapted to other devices, to other realities. And we used to explain that these applications can work in any device with any operating system, with any browser, from any location. Basically, because for those browsers that are not supporting WebRTC, it is possible to install a plugin, okay? And this plugin is giving support to WebRTC to these browsers. It's also possible to adapt the same application that we have using the WebRTC API of the browsers into a native application for Windows, Linux, Mac, and others. And this is something that is in our current portfolio. It's also possible to adapt the same code using frameworks into native or hybrid applications for smartphones, Android or iPhone. And basically just taking this into account together with the reality that the browser is hiding all the complexity behind the device and the operating system, we can say that the same applications, we are ready to make applications that can work with any device with no specific adaptations. No? So this is something that is really interesting when you are working with this type of features. And another thing that is important is, well, before I explained that we can build applications for, well, for any device, and most of the devices you don't need to install anything in the device. It's pure JavaScript code, and later we will explain how this is really important when you are dealing with sporadic users for customer care or this type of things. But another possibility is, well, considering that a bank or insurance company probably already have an application for their customers, for their customers. It's also possible to use this technology and the solution that we are providing to add a communication layer to an existing application. So you probably have an electronic banking application or so. Using these technologies, you can add the possibility to make a voice call, video call with an agent, to have chat, to share your screen and co-browsing, a lot of different features, but using the existing application that you have. So you don't need to have a specific one or a new one just for this communications tool. You can use your existing one. And finally, the last slide before explaining the first model of with use cases is related with call recording. And you probably have heard a lot about recording during the last months because well, local national regulations and so have been forcing banks, financial companies to support call recording. Basically, just in the case of it's explained in below in this slide, you can see that regulation, at least in Europe, and I think that in the US and other countries is similar. It's saying that the records are needed for all the conversations when a customer is making some deals or trying to make a deal. And this is important, as we will explain later, because it's really easy to record calls in the WebRTC domain. We have been working with some third-party companies, some partners of Cobis to provide this feature, and in some scenarios is critical and is really interesting. Okay, moving to the next slide is when we are starting to explain the first model with use cases related with customer ID verification and know your customer. Okay, we are going to start with probably the most famous one that is related with customer onboarding. The reason is because, as you probably know, so at least in Europe, lots of countries have adopted regulation in order to support the possibility to open a bank account as a new customer of a bank with no need to go physically to the branch of the bank. It's slightly different, well, depending on the country where you are, but in any case, as you can see on this slide, typically it's based in a customer is is navigating through a website. Probably he or she is watching a video on YouTube or something like this, and sees an advertisement of a bank that is inviting him or her to open a bank account. Okay? And after clicking in this banner, in this ad, or in this button, okay, and well, depending on the implementation, but typically it's starting a it's starting a video call with an agent of bank. Okay. And the idea in this is because the regulation is forcing banks to make this video call in order to be sure of the identity of the user. For sure, you can imagine that, today it's possible to send a picture of your national ID card or passport to fill up a form in order to submit your personal information and allow the bank to to open a bank account for you. And you can add some biometric tools that we will discuss later in order to make this happen. But today the national regulation in different countries is forcing to make a video call with an agent, and basically because the agent is going to be the responsible to validate the identity of the user. No? And what the regulation is saying that is the user the one that should show the passport or the ID card to the camera, and in order to help the agent to verify that your face is similar to the picture that you have in your ID card. Okay. For sure, as we will explain later, you can add some additional factors of authentication here. But basically, it's the agent the one that is responsible for this. Another important point, as I have introduced before, is that everything must be recorded here, okay? From the beginning to the end. And a typical video call when you are in this onboarding process is, is the agent is going to ask you to show this ID card with camera. Probably is going to ask also to bend the ID card just to check that it's not a copy of the original one that is supposed to be the original. The agent is going to ask some questions, at least just an example, in Spain typically we used to ask about if you are giving access or allowing the bank to have access to your personal information, because here in Spain we have some regulation on data protection. And, but the most important that is everything is going to be recorded. No, depending on the country, in some countries these records must be available for the customer and for the regulator for a period of time, typically 3 or 5 years. And what I was trying to introduce before, this is important, no? Because despite we are working in a different domain to the traditional telephone systems, we are working in the web OTC domain. Today is really easy to record these video calls, record everything that has happened here, record also tags related with contextual information like the IP address of the user, which is the language that the user has as default language, all the information that they have exchanged via chat, if they have a chat, together with the video in both directions with the audio. And this is important because regulators are inviting the banks to provide this type of features. As I have introduced before, something that is also important is to complement this solution with others. In this case, these are not part of our portfolio, but I would like just to introduce here different possibilities. Typically, banks are trying to improve this authentication via video call with third parties that are providing, just as an example, as you can see in these slides, biometrics for facial recognition, OCRs in order to detect the information that you have in your ID card, try to detect that is a good one, that is not a fake one. If the bank is taking the signature of the user, comparing the signature with the one that you have in your ID card, or any other mechanism. For this, we have some partners. Here you have two logos, Icar and Mobile, that are partners, that companies that we are typically working on this. And for those of you that were in our booth at the Mobile World Congress in Barcelona, you probably know this. We have a demo there related with customer ID verification. And something that we were showing there is an initiative of the GSMA called Mobile Connect, where is the telco the one that is playing the role of ID provider to the bank. And the idea is that not only the agent of the bank is checking the picture of the ID card, making this video call just to be sure that this guy is alive and is who claims to be. If the agent asks for the mobile number of the user, this initiative that is being adopted in different countries makes possible to get feedback from the provider of the user. Imagine that is using Telefonica, Vodafone, Orange, or any other. The idea is that the agent can check that the telephone number of the user belongs to this person, no? Because it's the telco the one that is providing information about the owner of the telephone number. For sure, the owner should allow the telco to share this information with the bank. No? But in any case, it's a new role of the telco that is pretty interesting, that is very convenient for ID verification in order to complement the solution that I have explained before. Okay, moving to this slide, not sure if you can check or can hear this. In any case, I think that the audio is not going to be critical, something that you can check because it's public. We have been involved in different projects with banks. The first one was with BBVA, that is well known at least in Europe and South America, and together with Oracle and Dialogic, it's the one that's providing the recording server. We have built a customer onboarding solutions for this one. Okay. Here you have a video that is available in YouTube. In many cases, you are going to have available this slide is be linked to the slides. And as you can see, it has titles in Spanish and English. Okay. So after explaining the customer onboarding use case, there are other scenarios in banks where customer ID verification, know your customer, makes sense. And just to give you 4 examples that I have here in this slide, one possibility is card activation. This is something that we are doing for other verticals like telcos or so, just to verify the identity of the user in order to activate a SIM card. But it's also possible with a bank. Imagine that you can buy a credit card in your supermarket, but you need to verify the identity with the bank that is the owner of the provider of this credit service. So the idea is similar to the previous one, not to be a customer of a new customer of the bank. In this case, it's just to probably for existing customers of the bank to verify the identity in order to activate a credit card or a fidelity card. You know, that is another possibility. But slightly different to the previous ones is what happens when you have suffered a robber of your credit card. Imagine that you are out of your company, out of your country, sorry, you are abroad, and you need to uh, cancel your credit card. You can make a video call with an agent of the bank, and this agent can verify that you are who claim to be, because well, he can recognize your face with the pictures that you have from your ID card or from the previous video call, in case you have passed through a customer onboarding process using a video call. And not only cancel your car, as the bank can be sure of your identity, they can also give you access to some money for this emergency or so. Another possibility is for those banks that have an electronic banking platform, now that you have your customers using your website to make any type of operation. And as you can see in this image, you want to transfer 1 million euros to another account. Probably this operation may be suspicious from the bank, despite you are uh, uh, you have authenticated with your user and password mechanism. So when they have any type of suspicious operation, in order to detect that you have not been kidnapped or just to get a proof of life, they can start an ID verification process using a video call. Here, remember that you don't need, if you, in case you're using your browser, you probably don't need to install anything to make these video calls. It's really convenient for the users. It's going to work from the first time, and it's a possibility just to give well, to assure the bank that the user wants, the customer wants to make this operation. In case we are dealing with attackers like or customers that are trying to make any type of illegal operation like anti-money laundering or so, another possibility is when the bank detects that we are probably dealing with this type of attackers of illegal operations, is to make an incoming call, a direct incoming call to the user. So an agent can call using the client that is running in the background of the web-based electronic banking platform, in order to be sure of the identity of the user. And they can block the operation in case the user doesn't give access to this video call. So these are just examples of possibilities to verify the identity of the user. Now we are going to discuss in the second part related with how we can leverage customer care beyond ID verification. No? Other things that we can do, okay, in order to improve customer care. Basically, here you need to know a couple of things. This slide maybe a little bit technical, but in any case, idea. You as a bank or an insurance company, you can probably have, you already have a contact center platform, Genesis, Avaya, or any other. One of the possibilities that we have, in order to use, because here is critical to use the same agents, for all the different processes. And one of the possibilities that we have in order to leverage customer care is first make a voice call. Imagine that your contact center is only supporting voice. One of the possibilities that we have is first make from a click to call button a voice call to the existing contact center platform in order to allocate one of the agents, and this agent is going to answer the call using the Genesis or via soft client. But once this voice call is established, a possibility is to make a second call for video and collaboration, as you can see in this slide. And then the idea is that we are going to make a second call that could be completely automatic. So it's something that we don't need the customer to make anything here or the agent. Okay, this could be completely automatic. The idea is to make a second call for video collaboration to the browser of the agent. So this is a smart way to provide video support to those call centers that are only supporting voice. And again, it's for this type of advanced multimedia capabilities. It's an interesting solution because we are using the same agents that we can use for other services. Okay. And the second thing that you must know is that for those calls that are starting through the previous example is something that has started in a critical button in a website or so. But in this case, where you are showing something that is starting in the PSTN. So imagine that you are working and you are dialing the telephone number of your insurance company because you have a problem. Okay. One of the possibilities that we have is while we have this voice call with the contact center of this company, the agent can send an email or an SMS with a link, and just clicking in this link, you can make a video call from your smartphone, your PC, laptop, whenever you are using, a video call to the same agent, while we keep the voice call through the PSTN. So again, it's the same idea. Something that is starting the PSTN, but something that we are using the same agents for the traditional services. We have the possibility to upgrade this call into video and collaboration, but in a smart way, with no need to make relevant changes. So we are going to explain some use cases, taking into consideration what we have explained here, different possibilities that we have. Okay. And the first one, imagine that insurance company for cars, and you have suffered a car accident. You can make a voice call, sorry. You're going to dial to the telephone number of your insurance company just to notify this accident. The agent can send, as you are out of your home, can send an SMS that you are going to receive in the same smartphone that you are using. And while you keep the voice call through the PSTN, you can make a video call with your smartphone. The idea here is that the agent is sending this link. When you are clicking this link, it pop-ups your browser, and with no need to install anything there, you can send a video, a 30-second video or something like this, of what has happened to your car. And what you can see in the picture in the right is basically what the agent sees. The agent can check what has happened there, and the agent can record this call. And this is a way to reduce all the costs related with the first evaluation of the damage. It's a possibility also to avoid fraud, okay, in this type of services that probably are open to suffer some fraud. And related with customer context, well, we have discussed possibilities for end customers, like the example in the left, when you are solving a problem that you have suffered in your car. But it's also possible for your, imagine that you are an insurance company and you are sending some engineers or evaluators to companies or to homes. Another possibility is to provide these technicians with the chance to share videos or pictures of what they have in front of them just to discuss with their experts or colleagues the possibilities to solve the problem of the user. And this type of solutions make sense for all the types of insurance that you can imagine, from problems at home with your cars, health, and everything. Okay. Again, with the possibilities that I have explained before. Works in all devices, no need to install. It supports lots of different multimedia capabilities. As in the sample you can see in the right is this technician is sharing this video, but another guy is drawing on top of the video that this guy is sharing, just to explain which is the part of this tool that they should solve. Okay. Moving to the next slide, this is another example of how we can leverage customer care is providing assistance when users are navigating through a website. Both agent and user can see the same. This can be done through contextual information, screen sharing, or co-browsing. That are different mechanisms to share what you have in front of your screen, and the agent can draw on top of what you are sharing in order to help to identify which are the button that you should click, which is the option or which is the field that you should fill on this type of thing. Also, the agent can help users to navigate through a website. This is being adopted by for e-commerce and this type of solution, but also for large companies, banks, and so it could be useful in case you want to provide support for customers that are experimenting any problem navigating through your website. Another possibility is, as I have discussed before, is to add a communication layer to an existing application. So, as you can imagine, this type of electronic banking applications for smartphones or so, you can have a help button in this application, and on the other side, when you cannot only make a voice or video call with the agent can receive as contextual information which is the section where you are, which is the type of device that you are using, well, all the information that they need in order to give you support with the problems that you may experiment using the application of the bank. One that is really interesting is because we know that a lot of verticals are receiving calls in order to make questions related with doubts of invoices or so. One of the possibilities that we have is imagine a customer that's navigating through a website of a bank. He's checking a contract or PDF or any type of information or that the bank is providing to the user. When they click in the clickable button for support, the agent can make something as you can see there. He can draw on top of the document that this guy is watching in order to explain this better. This could be useful for voice. Imagine that contact centers that are receiving lots of calls with questions after customers are receiving the last invoice. Well, this could be really useful because both agent and customer can discuss about the same thing. So is reducing the length of calls. More possibilities is to provide support from kiosks and ATMs in order to reduce queues in banks. That well, probably we know that is one of the problems that banks currently have. And or when you are experimenting any problem, no? Imagine that you are working with ATM and you have to suffer any type of problem in order to get money or something like this. One of the possibilities is to make a voice and video call. Again, video is interesting because, well, you are recording the face of the guy. You can verify its identity if you have a picture of this person. So it's a way to improve the customer care from these different elements. If you remember, this is a appropriate technology because it runs in many type of devices, really easy to adapt into an application, or just to use a browser that can run this kiosk or ATM in order to provide support. And finally, well, there are lots of possibilities related with communication with your personal agent for private banking, just to communicate with your local branch. You can imagine probably that there are lots of possibilities behind these technologies. Just to give you here an example, imagine a customer that is receiving a mail from a bank, and they can, just clicking the link that the bank is submitting, he can enter in something like a meeting room that just could be an interface for peer-to-peer communication. But imagine that is something that, well, you want to talk with your personal agent, but also with an expert that can provide advice or support for a specific product of the bank. It's really easy to support this type of multi-conferencing with a browser or with an application, again with the key benefits that I have explained before. I'm moving to the final module. Here again we have 2 slides before explaining use cases. These are related with corporate access because we are going to discuss later about how we can improve employee collaboration and so on. Okay. So we are going to talk about specific communications tool with the access of banks and insurance company, but in order to provide communication for employees and internal users. First, something that I think that was not explained before. This is this type of web-based applications can be easily connected with all the access that you have in your network related with voice over IP and so on. Just using gateways, because this is a different technology, this is based on WebRTC, it's really easy to adapt into SIP. That is the traditional protocol that is being adopted by PBX, by video conferencing platforms of enterprises. So the idea is, from this type of web-based applications, you can make voice calls to mobile devices or telephone numbers, to landlines. You can interconnect with the existing IP phones of your PBX. You can also interconnect for video with the video conferencing solutions that you have in your company, including solutions from Avaya, Cisco Call Manager, or Microsoft Skype. But not only this, because we can connect with other elements that are relevant in the architecture of the enterprises. we can authenticate the users with the existing elements of the company, like Active Directories, um, network address books, or HSS in case of telcos. So we can also create new users from the application depending on the policies of the company. So it's really easy to use the current assets. You don't need to build something new just to add this type of web-based communications tools. And something similar for directories. Typically, customers and employees are expecting to have a contact list in this type of applications. And well, the ideas we can use, in case they have, we can use Google Contacts, LDAP, or any other solution in order to grab the contacts of the users and show these contacts in the agenda of the web-based application. Call data records and call recordings can be stored in the existing solutions of the customer. Imagine that you probably have a database for logs, so call data records can be stored there. The current solutions for voice recording probably can be also useful for record the voice or video calls that you can make through this type of web-based applications. And finally, user policies can be imported and be used in order to manage which are the privileges and policies that you are going to use for this for all the different employees in the company. So it's also again it's easy to integrate with what you have there. Okay. So explaining, and I think that we are going to finish soon with the webinar. Explaining the use cases that we have for employee communication. Well, the first one is, as you can see in this image, you can have a web-based application as a soft client that can be connected with all the elements that we have there. And this type of voice video collaboration tool for sure can be connected with Microsoft Lync and Cisco, and should be more reasonable in terms of budget and in terms of cost. And it's also providing mobility, but not only mobility. Remember that it's supporting different devices, so this can be a tool in case you want to have a policy for bringing your own device. This can be a tool that can help companies to provide mobility and solve the bring your own device challenge. Second possibility is that it's more easy with these tools to provide multi-conferencing capabilities. To have this type of multi-conference units or MCUs in the web domain is cheaper. So it's really easy to build this type of applications that can support multi-conference. Evolution of multi-conferencing is support of webinars, internal trainings. That is also a possibility. Some of you, in fact, are using the web-based solution of GoToWebinar to connect to this webinar. Here the idea is the same, so you can have your own solution for your internal trainings based on these web-based applications. Remember that these web-based applications can be adapted into native or hybrid applications for your smartphones, or in native applications for your PCs, laptops using Windows, Linux, or Mac. This depends on the policies. Sometimes companies and enterprises prefer to have specific applications. Others because they have virtual desktops, or because they prefer, in terms of their IT policies, they prefer to have web-based applications running in browsers. And finally, because this is the last slide, another possibility is to add, as we have explained before, the possibilities to add a customer care communication layer into the existing electronic banking application. Another possibility is to embed a communication tool into an existing application of the IT department. Imagine that the company is using Salesforce, is using Gmail, Office 365, or any other tool, especially those that are based on web, is really to add clickable buttons or detect telephone numbers in the CRM, and providing the feature just to click in the telephone number and you are launching a voice call from the browser to the telephone number that you have there. It's really easy to add this. We need for this type of features, we need to add a plugin in the browser in order to detect that you are, imagine that you are in Gmail, and when you are in the contact section, to add a button to any contact that you have there, because you are downloading this web page that is from Google. No? So we need to add a plugin that is detecting that you are in this Gmail web page, and change the code that you have there into a to add a button to any contact that you have there. But this, again, just to sum up, this is really easy to add these communication tools, this communication layer to to existing applications. So now we have finished, and we have here 15 different questions that I think that most of them have been already answered. Okay, but let me ask. Remember, the slides are going to be available on the recordings. For today, you're going to receive this. Okay, and we have some questions related with a specific regulation in some countries related with customer onboarding. Well, depends on the country. On the country, I need to check. Not all the countries are forcing banks to support video call to make this onboarding process. Depends on the countries. But typically, it's a bank, the one that is forcing their regulator to adopt this, no? Because they have the interest, and you know that all the banks that are working in Europe, in the European Union, can get customers from other countries. So BBVA using this tool can be open to add customers from other countries. So a specific bank that is operating for, just an example, in Italy, is interesting to provide a similar feature if they want to compete in the same situation with with other banks. We have questions related with integration with different access. Yes, we are supporting all the things that I explained before, Cisco, Meyer, Avaya, other platforms. Depending on the tool that they are providing, some of them are exposing APIs. In other scenarios, the integration is different because we need to make this integration in the SIP domain, and we need a gateway. We have some questions related with the last slide, if we have an integration with Moodle, but I think that should be a tool for e-learning. I think that, if I'm not wrong, I think that we do not have this available for the moment. But in any case, it should be really easy, okay? Because remember, I'm not sure if this is an open source solution or not that we can change. But in any case, we always have the possibility to add a plugin to the the browser in order to detect that you are in this type of Moodle site and adapt or add new features there. More questions. I think that this has already answered. Last one. Okay, I think that is the last one. It's the 15. Is integration with a reporting platform? Yes. It's increasing the cost of the project. Yes, this is increasing the cost of the project basically because we need to add a media server to deal with this, because we need a tool to mix voice and video of both channels from A to B and B to A, from customer to agent and A to customer, into a file. And we need a specific media server for this. So this is increasing the cost. But remember, sometimes we can use the existing assets of the contact centers or so, probably all of them already have a solution to make this type of voice recording. Depending on the architecture, we can use the existing assets of the contact center. So despite, if we need to include this, is increasing the cost, probably, just to give you an idea, probably between 15 to 40% of the cost. But sometimes we can use the existing assets. And I think that this is all. I'm sorry I haven't left any question, but I will take a look later, okay? And if any question has not been answered, I will send you a specific mail with the answer to the question. And contact, you will receive an email today with a link to download the slides and probably a link to YouTube. Okay, just to, well, in case you want to check the contents of the webinar. And well, if you have any other question, do not hesitate in getting in contact with me. My email is iago.soto@huovis.com, and we will be more than happy to help you. Thanks a lot for your time, and have a nice day.